Your life today is a reflection of the thoughts you have allowed to dominate your mind yesterday. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed effortlessly while others stay stuck in the cycles of struggle? The answer often lies not in the external circumstances, but in the inner world, the mind. Napoleon Hill once in his book said, "Think and grow rich." Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can be achieved. And again, Marcus Aurelius, the Roman philosopher, wrote something very powerful. He said that the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Welcome to Apeiron. My name is New Manasa, and today I'm going to be helping you understand. I'm going to be taking you on a 3-part journey, and this is the first series. And in this series, I'm going to be exploring and helping you understand what the mind is, the purpose of your mind, and how your mind works. So by the end of this video, you will not just understand your mind, but you will see how it shapes the reality of your every single day. Thank you so much once again for always choosing Apeiron. My name is New Manasa, and what a blessing to always have you. Welcome to today's video. What? All right. So the first question we're going to cover today is, what is the mind? What is the mind? The mind is not your brain. So much as your brain is the hardware, your brain is the physical specimen, while your mind is the software that runs the program of your life. Let me tell you something. Your mind is the invisible powerhouse where your thoughts, your imaginations, your beliefs, and perceptions are formed. Now, can you believe that many psychologists describe the mind as having 2 key components? Number 1, the conscious mind, the thinking part, the part that analyzes and makes decisions. Number 2, the subconscious mind. This is a deep reservoir that carries your memories and emotions. Think about that. Your mind has 2 parts. Now, in the ideal definition, I would say that the mind is like a woman carries a womb, right? So does every man, whether woman or man, carry a womb. So the ultimate definition of your mind is the womb for all manifestations. I want you to think about that. Just like a lady carries a womb, the mind was created to be the womb. Because as you were created, you were expected to manifest certain things from the unseen to the seen. Isn't that wonderful? And doesn't that make God a genius? That He gave you this womb, and the purpose of this womb is to translate or is to transport that which is in the unseen into the seen. Why? So I want you to think of your mind as the soil. And I want you to look at the seeds, at whatever seed, whether it's a thought, whether it's an idea or belief. If you plant in it and give it enough attention and repetition, it begins to grow. So whatever seed, whether positive or negative, this soil called the mind does not discriminate. For example, if you constantly think I'm not good enough, that seed will germinate and it will begin to grow into action, and at the end, it will grow into results. That reinforces failure. So if you think I'm capable, I'm resourceful, your life begins to align with that belief. So if we ask ourselves an ultimate question, what is the mind? I will say this is the middle part, or this is the womb that is designed. So like a lady has a womb, your mind is the womb. And the intention of God in giving you that mind is that you can, number one, conceive thoughts that come from the realm of the unseen. And you can continuously and repetitively think about them to manifest in the physical. So that's how I can define the mind, or the easiest way, the easiest definition I can't put to the mind. And I know you're learning something, but follow me closely. The other question is going to be, why do I have the mind? What is the purpose of my mind? Remember, your mind is not just a thinking machine. It serves a much greater role. Number one, we said it is the womb of all manifestations. So the ultimate purpose of your mind is that you will conceive divine ideas or ideas from the unseen. That you will have the capacity through that womb to manifest them into the physical. So I want you to look at this. Every business, every invasion, every movement or transformation first began as an idea in someone's mind. Isn't that beautiful? The phone you're watching, this phone that you're scrolling on, or that laptop you're using to watch this video, that phone that where you're watching the video from, that phone, the chair you are sitting on, the chair I'm sitting on right now, even the clothes I'm wearing right now, all existed first in someone's imagination. You see that house where you stay, you see that bank where you go and make your transactions, all that started in someone's mind. What that enforces the idea that one of the ultimate purposes of your mind is it's a womb for all manifestations. Now, when we talk of manifestations, both evil and good ones, or both negative and positive. So, do you see people who commit suicide? Do you see people who are struggling? All those ideas. That is a manifestation of ideas that have been conceived in the womb. So the womb does not discriminate, positive or negative. Whatever it is planted in that womb, it will come out. So the mind is the womb of all manifestations. That's number one purpose of the mind. Let's look at number two. So the mind is the origin of all life-changing ideas. I want you to look at breakthroughs in science. I want you to look at breakthroughs in technology. I want you to look at 1994, the emergency of the technology era. I want you to look at art. I want you to look at personal growth. All that is birthed in the mind before it appears in the physical world. What that means is that the mind is the originator of all life-changing ideas. Now, I want us to put aside other manifestations, but I also want you to look at movements. I want you to look at breakthroughs. I want you to look at shifts. All that starts in the mind. So it's the originator of all life-changing ideas. And what am I saying? That is that if your life is going to change, right, that has to stem from your mind. Number three, your mind is a guidance system. It interprets reality and directs you, or even maps the path that you walk on. I'm going to repeat that. Your mind interprets reality and gives you direction or a map on the path that you walk on. Isn't that a very powerful tool? And absurdly, 95% of human beings do not understand how the mind works. What that means is that they are moving on autopilot, which is quite shocking. That's why I'm making this video, to help you understand. Now, let's look at the fourth, what we call the purpose of your mind. So the mind is the bridge between the visible, oh, I love this, and the invisible. So remember, when we look at creation, things stem from the invisible into the visible. You remember that the good book says that it is God who calleth the things that be not as though they are. I want us to go back to the creation story in the book of Genesis. I want you to look at that. Imagine. And God said, let there be. That means there was a part where he first thought every creation, the rivers, the lakes, existed in the invisible. But now here he thought, let there be. And the manifestation came through. So whatever was being spoken, the words were a reflection of what existed in the mind of God. And he said, let there be. So your mind is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Can you believe that thoughts become feelings? Feelings become actions, and actions become results. So there is the invisible, and there is the visible, and the mind is in the middle. So this also operates whether negatively or positively. Isn't that like it's stunning? I mean, I can feel chills even as I'm speaking about it. Goosebumps. That your mind has been assigned as a machine to stand between the visible and the invisible world. Because we know that if anything is to be manifested, it has to stem from the invisible. Right? And I gave you that godly story. And he said, remember, the good book also gives us a story. That before the creation of man, God was thinking in his heart. That there was a conversation. And he said, let us create man. And let us create him in our own image. That was idea. Those were ideas. He was literally showing you how he's thinking. And finally, then he actively started to create man. So, there's one thing that I know. When you understand this purpose, you will begin to respect the quality of your thoughts. And you will allow this into your inner space. I'm certain that at this point, we understand what the mind is. The purpose of your mind. Right? I'm pretty sure we know that. I want you don't just go rush through the video. I want you to understand very well the information that I'm trying to disseminate unto you. So we're going to be going to our third part of the video. And this is a very powerful question. How does my mind work? And I know many of us ask ourselves that question. How does my mind work? Now, let's break it down step by step. Number one, let's look at input. What do I mean by input? Your mind is constantly absorbing information. From where? Your environment. Yes. Your social media. The social media scrolling that you do. Yes. Conversations that you have with different people and experiences. So that's the input part. Now, once that is done, there is what we call the processing of the information, right? So at this point, your mind will interact with your current beliefs and mental patterns. So if you have been conditioned negatively, even when great opportunities come, you will still see impossibility. Quite interesting. Even when a good thing comes, you're going to still react from an impossibility perspective. Number three. So remember we said that you will input. The mind will start to process, right? And now repetition. The more you think of a thought, the more it ingrains in your subconscious mind. And that thought will become a belief. I'm going to give you an example. At one point, I believed in my inability. At one point I used to think, maybe I can't do this. Maybe I cannot run a business. And I believed that thing for long. And how did it happen? When I was a young boy, I remember I started practicing poetry. So I remember very well my dad bought me a chicken. And when he bought that chicken, all of us, my brothers, my sisters, our dad bought us one chicken. And what happened? My own died. And someone told me that's bad luck. And how I interpreted that was, I'm never gonna be good. Yeah, so I interpreted that in a way that I'm never gonna be good at something. And surprisingly, I kept on manifesting the same results. And the more I manifested, the more I believed it. At one point, I even went for someone, a pastor, to pray for me. And I remember kneeling down and saying, everything that I touch seems to break. But as I continue to grow and as I continue to amass more knowledge, I realized that my problem was stemming from a thought that I had repeated for so many years. Because as I was breaking that thought, when I was breaking that idea and that pattern, this is what happened. The person who was giving me the coaching tool asked me a question. Have you ever done wonderful things? And I actually looked, I'd done quite a lot of wonderful things. Then I was like, did I believe something wrong about myself? And from the time when I stopped believing that, the results started to shift. So repetition, very powerful. The fourth aspect of how your mind works is attraction. What this means is that the dominant beliefs shape your emotions, they shape your decisions, and eventually they shape your circumstances. So the thing is here, you attract situations that confirm what you constantly think about. That's why I always love reviewing results, because they can simply tell, am I believing the right things about myself? So this is where the idea that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, or the man's life will gravitate towards his most dominant thoughts. This is where that idea stems from. So what happens is that your most dominant beliefs begin to shape your emotions, they shape your decisions, and eventually they shape your circumstances. Very powerful. That's where the attraction comes from. That whatever you dominantly think about, you're going to attract in your life. And number 5, output, or what we would call results. The thoughts you have watered turn into tangible results. Success or failure, joy or frustration depend on what seeds you have chosen to plant in your wonderful mind. I want you to look at this metaphor. Just like a garden, the mind will grow weeds if you do not plant intentional seeds, right? If you do not plant intentional seeds, things like negativity, fear, doubt are seeds that will begin to grow on their own. So let's look at positivity as well. On the positive side, if you intentionally begin to plant the right seeds in your mind, positivity, discipline, vision must be intentionally, like they will start to manifest. But that will only come when you intentionally choose to plant the right seeds. Very important. So that means you are fully responsible for what goes into your mind. And again, I'm going to say, like one of my favorite mentors always mentions, no savior is coming. No one is responsible for where your mind is. Yes, I know that when it comes to the programming, many external factors come into play, but you are fully responsible for the state of your inner world. You are fully responsible for what goes into the garden of your mind. So I want you to reflect. What seeds have been planted in my mind? What are those things that I think about every day? Because you should know that your mind is your greatest asset, but it can also be your biggest liability. And the question again I'm going to ask, what seeds are you planting in your mind today? What seeds are you planting in your mind today? I want you to look at how you spend your time. Early morning, what seeds you plant in the garden of your mind. I want you to look at your results and ask yourself, if this is what I have, am I actually planting the right seeds in my mind? And the beauty is here. There is always hope for a change. How will that change come? If you choose to change what you plant in the garden of your mind. So I'm very, very excited about what you're going to do with your life. And it's a call for you to actually begin to change. I want you to take an action, take a step. Information alone, the goal is not to watch the video and you complete it. That would be utter waste of time. The goal is that you can conceive this information and take action about your life. So I'm going to be coming with the part 2, and in this series we'll go through a deeper understanding of the layers that make up the mind. That's the conscious and the subconscious mind, and how to reprogram your subconscious mind to set yourself up for success. If you find this video helpful, give this video a like. Share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And most importantly, make sure that you let me know how you feel in the comment section. And we have also come to realize that almost 75% of the people that watch our content, you have not yet subscribed. Let me tell you something. When you subscribe to this channel, you help me reach many more people. You help the algorithm push this content to millions of people all over the world that need this information. So subscribe to this channel and make sure you don't miss part 2. Make sure you click the notification bell so that you do not miss out on the wonderful content that we invest a lot of time in to share on this platform to ensure that your life changes. Always remember, talk does not do anything. It is action, action, action that is going to change your life. My name is Newman Nasa, and I'm very excited about your journey. I'm very hopeful that after watching this video, your life is never going to be the same. Invest in yourself, take the necessary action, and things are going to change. Lastly, never give up on your dreams. Have a blissful day, and you are blessed. Let's meet in part 2. Ciao.